dame ahí, dame ahí. A fuego, maquinita, a fuego. Yo te quiero dar, papi, sin miedo. Yo te quiero dar, papi, sin miedo. Ay, dale, 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 dale. Yo quiero romper modales, los modales. Ay, ay, dale, 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 dale. A los shikiridas, 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 dale. Dale, dale.
I bet on myself. Yeah, I bet on myself.
Yeah, I bet on myself. Yeah, I bet on myself. I don't need you, I do it myself. Yeah, I bet on myself.
Yeah, I bet on myself.
Yeah, I bet on myself. Okay, dream so big that they think I'm crazy. Let out the beast, no, they can't tame me. Don't play with me, better mind your business. I cannot stop now, I ain't finished. I'ma keep on going till I got that. Okay, the way that I'ma do it, they can't top that. No way. Critics trying to hate, but I don't talk back, I know that. Plotting on the kid with the bull, tell them all that. I'm the one that I'ma gamble on, I ramble on. I'm about to get my ramble on, and I'm the one they really couldn't get a handle on. Then when they see they missed the boy, they get a tantrum on.
Yeah, what is going on, everybody, and welcome to the one, the only designated Spittaz, the place where we do not like.
I don't like that kind of talk.
That's just the way it goes. Francis, what's going on? Oh my God.
What's up, brother, man? Happy Sunday chat. What's up with you guys?
You know, Sunday's a beautiful. You know what Sunday is? It's nice. Sunday's nice.
It's nice. It's nice. It's a
Sunday's
beautiful
nice,
day.
man. Sunday's nice. It's a beautiful day. Got a little cute things going on. You know, you snacky to like it, you hitty the subby.
Yes, sir.
And then you're ready to rock and roll. That's the way life goes. But we do got some a little bit of stuff to talk about. We have a past shit talker now wanted to be part of our team. We're gonna talk about that a little bit.
Right about that, yeah.
I actually put together a couple of trades that I think could maybe be something for the Yankees. Nothing too sexy.
Okay.
So everybody don't get a little happy in the pants, as they say. You know, people tend to say that. I don't want you guys getting a little too frisky out there, but you know, Francis today is back home, folks. He's not at the visiting center in the lobby of Better Living.
Green Grove.
I Bet
No.
Living. Isn't Better Living like a country hardware store?
Better Living. It might be, actually. I mean, Better Living
sounds
sounds like an assisted living center somewhere in northern Jersey, but
That's fine with me. That still works.
Green Grove is where Olivia was.
Was it really? That was it? Green Grove?
I think it was Green Grove. I don't know. I mean, because I'm watching it again, and you know when she can't go back, when she comes out, like they won't have you back. You were abusive to the staff.
I love that damn woman. We got a super chat from Rod Thompson.
You're simply the best.
He says, this episode of Designated Spittaz is sponsored by AARP and Green Grove Retirement Community Center. That's what I am talking about. Look.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If AARP wants to become a sponsor of Designated Spittaz, they could just call and we can have something going, because I'm or like a hip replacement company. That's another good one.
Listen, I'm sending tons of business to the hip replacement doctors as we speak. So I think that's a marriage that makes sense business wise for both parties.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. But we got to get into the first news of the day, and that is Marcus Stroman. We definitely got to talk about this. So Marcus Stroman, he informed the New York Yankees, Francis, that he really wants to be a part of the New York Yankees. Like, guys, please, whatever I gotta do, I want to be a part with you. He put like it was like a nursery rhyme like that. It rhymed, so it was like a little nursery rhyme that he put together.
No, he did a song.
I could definitely make a song on that one for Marcus Stroman if he likes. But Marcus Stroman has had a very, very odd time with the New York Yankees, with the fan base and all that. A couple of years ago, if you guys remember, he shit on Brian Cash. I was like, "What are you talking?" He put their numbers side by side.
Yep.
And now it's kind of like he's at a point where you're not looked at as that dog anymore, bro. And you pitched 130 something innings last year. You were decent. You weren't terrible. You were decent. You were serviceable.
Serviceable, good word. Yep.
But to sit there and be like, everybody, bring me back, and the Yankees are like, bro, keep walking that way. Remember that shit you were talking? Now you want a job here? Fuck off, man. Fuck off. What's your thoughts, Francis, on Marcus Stroman? Did he block you, by the way? You blocked it.
No, I'm blocked on the original, The
original account he blocked.
On the original
me
account,
and him went back and forth, but he never blocked me for some reason.
That's interesting because I got blocked. I got blocked based off of that exchange. Like, you guys went back and forth. I jumped in. I didn't even disrespect him, actually.
I did.
I remember that. That's why I said it, because I was like, Pete definitely disrespected him. I didn't disrespect him. I jumped in. I think I said, hey, you're definitely a solid arm, solid pitcher, but this kind of behavior is not becoming of somebody who's looking for teams to be attracted to him. And then I got blocked.
You took a very nice route.
Yeah, I try. You know what it is, Pete? I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, we go back to when this first exchange happened years ago, when the trade talks were talking between the Yankees and the Mets and Stroman. Yeah. And at that point, I wasn't completely opposed to a Marcus Stroman, actually. Right. I thought, I was like, he's a guy with a lot of fire. He's a competitor. He takes the ball every 5 days. There's a guy he's working really hard to be better. He's one of the guys who early on you saw. It's crazy. I'm gonna make this comparison because it's not gonna, endear him to a lot of fans, but he was like Trevor Bauer in that you kind of always saw him in the lab training, like working on his pitches, working on himself, training, stuff like that. And I love guys like that. I mean, me being a pitcher when I played, I'm always going to gravitate towards guys like that. That's why Garrett Cole is everything to me, because there's
everything.
There's no denying guys like that. They care about the craft. And that's why I gravitate towards guys like that. Yeah. Stroman was that guy. So back then I was just like, look, dude, like, that's not going to make teams want to get you. Like, it's not like you're calling out GMs. On top of that, you're calling out Cashman, right? There's a lot of GMs in baseball who don't have the cachet of a Brian Cashman, and whether or not depending on how you feel about him these last couple of years, because we know like it's been a little bit of a shit show. He's still been the longest tenured GM, right? Like that goes for something, and you're calling him out. It wasn't a good look, but I got blocked. But to speak to what's happening right now, bro, I think you put it perfectly. The pitching market for Stroman hasn't materialized the way that he thought it would, because he and his representation believes that he's been, a bit more than just serviceable. And you know what? They may have a leg to stand on with that, but let's call a spade a spade. In today's pitching market, there's a lot of teams that still have options that are way higher in the market. When you look at your Blake Snells and your Jordan Montgomerys and, some of the guys that are being talked about in trades, when you think about Dylan Cease and others, that maybe there's, a lot of these teams don't think that they're at the Marcus Stroman like level of their free agency, of their offseason yet. Right. So, but then when you can look at a guy like Stroman, obviously he's getting a little antsy, Pete, because here we are, it's January 7th. He doesn't know where he's playing next year, and pitchers and catchers report a month from now.
Well, look, didn't he have something too when who did he do? He did it he called the Mets racist. He called the Mets people racist. Look, at the end of the day, guys, you can say whatever you want, but when you talk that much, eventually it might bite you in the ass. There could, you talk about somebody like Brian Cashman, who we all know is actually well liked around GMs in baseball. He's been there forever.
Exactly.
So he probably has a decent reputation at best.
Yeah. When
a player does something like that, it's probably not always going to come across as somebody you want to do business with, especially the things he said, like about, certain teams being racist and this and that. Whether there's a basis or not that he truly feels that, or he does, whatever it is, whatever there is behind that, teams see it as a risk at the end of the day. It's like, do we really want to bring this guy in the fold? And at the end of the day, he's also not really a game changer. As Kev Cruz with the Super Chat says, Driving but tuned in. Kalo K was Stroman's ground ball percentage. Kev, you're going to love this. He's in the top 94 percentile, 57.4%. So you're going to love that. That might get him. That might get him on Kev's side to come on over. But Marcus Stroman, to me, I'll throw the numbers on the screen. Everybody can see. There's nothing extremely special anymore about Marcus Stroman. Fastball velo has been dipping year after year. He's now below league average on his fastball, below league average on the slider. He's almost below league average on his changeup when it just comes to velo on what he throws. Command has also taken a bit of a dip over the last couple of seasons. ERA is always about under 4. It'll be interesting to see what his FIP is. I might actually let me actually pull that up because I'm actually, out of all those numbers, FIP is one that I actually pay a little bit of attention to be honest.
I'm glad you brought up the numbers here because that's gonna speak to my next point.
Okay, his FIP last year, I want to say his FIP's gonna be higher. I can't believe it'll be lower. No, it was his FIP is basically what his ERA is every year, so he's kind of who he is. Yeah.
Meaning that his pitching normally is already fielding independent. Like you don't need
exactly.
You don't need to look any further than that. Here's the thing with Stroman, right? Stroman's my age. He's 32, right?
Yep.
In terms of like real life stuff, like that's not necessarily old at all, right? Because there's a lot of things you can still do, and we've seen that. In terms of baseball, right? In terms of pitching, 32 is not it's not on the younger end by any stretch. 32 is actually now you're pushing towards the older, the older side of things. And if you're giving a guy like that a 3-4 year deal, you're committing to paying a 35 and 36-year-old pitcher. Now, when you go ahead and do something like that, what you're going to want to look at first and foremost, even before all the off the field shit comes in, are the peripheral numbers, right? Which is what you just, put up on the screen for everybody to take a gander at. And what do those peripheral numbers tell us about 32-year-old Marcus Stroman? That even though he's coming off a solid year where he was serviceable in the NL Central, correct? Yeah. Where he was, more than serviceable there in the NL Central. The peripherals tell us a story that's a little bit scary if you're a team in, say, the NL East or the AL East or maybe the NL West, where the offenses are a little bit more potent and probably knock those numbers up worse than they would have been last year, right? The peripherals don't look good, and I got to give credit where credit is due because he's one, outside of, people on our team who I obviously have the utmost respect for because it's the best team in the fucking game. One of our community members been there for a while and gets a lot of shit for saying some things that are pretty outlandish most of the time. L.I. Yankee King has said it that,
oh my God, he
actually said, as Marcus Stroman ages, it's really scary if you look at the numbers. He's actually correct in that. Peter's like, oh my God. He's actually correct in that. That's one thing I will give L.I. Yankee King that he's right about.
This is what I'm feeling about Francis right now, everyone.
Not only are you a hot dog, a grandstander, a showboat, and a prima donna, but you're a liar too.
That's what I'm thinking right now. Because now you just ruined Discord for everybody tonight. Because this dude is going to be going on saying, I told you.
No,
I told you.
That's
what you just did. You just fucked everybody's night. You killed it.
I was killing them in Discord because the hater stuff. I mean, we want to talk about it real quick later.
Oh,
I'd like to make one point on that, but that could be towards the end. But with the Stroman thing, I have to, say it's true. Like, if I'm a GM, right? If I'm Cashman, like, put the feelings aside, say there was no past history or whatever. Yeah. Just looking at the peripherals, we know the Yankees have always hated pitchers over 30, signing starting pitchers over 30. It doesn't really bode well for a free agent who's over 30. Look at what's happening now with Snell and Monty. Let's call a spade a spade. In regards to like the pitchers available, Stroman's not Blake Snell. He's not Jordan Montgomery. And yet those two guys are still out there in the wind. They haven't been signed either.
Right.
So I mean, it just goes to show you a lot of teams are actually moving with trepidation when it comes to that, signing a pitcher over 30 years of age. And he's older than both of them. He's 32. And then on top of that, like I said, you look at those peripherals, it's not too cute. Right. To quote my brother Pete, it's not too cute. If I'm the Yankees, I'm looking at those peripheral numbers in 2023. facing, the
American
world,
League East.
the world beating offenses of the NL Central.
Like putting this
No,
dude against the
come on.
Orioles maybe 3 times a season or something. I'm like,
Think about that. Think
I don't
about
know that,
taking
man.
them to Fenway,
Yeah,
taking them
you
to
don't-
Fenway.
You want to be careful about something like that.
Or the
let's be
Rogers
fair,
Center.
too. There is still a lot of pitchers out there. That is the one thing that we're certainly going to get into. Our guy Patty Sinclair with the super chat. My guy Patty. Yeah, Patty. He says, so basically, you're not allowed to clap back at Cashman. Also, Stroman led the NL in ERA, 2.28 until injury. Look, it's not that you're not. You can do whatever the hell you want. That's how. Look, I believe in freedom of speech. It doesn't mean that there doesn't come with consequences.
You're right.
So you can go out there and say, "What? Look, what did Trevor Bauer do in his interview? I shouldn't have said what I said about Manfred. Even if it's how I felt, there should have been a different way of saying it. And that is true as you grow up. Sometimes you don't do things in public. Sometimes there's things that is for a single conversation together with somebody, or you do it in front of everybody, however you feel. But there could be consequence on how you do that. And I do think that Marcus Stroman is kind of feeling that a little bit. Because let's get real here. Lucas Giolito got paid $19 million a pop.
Look, I can't even get.
Montas pitched 1 1/3 inning. The guy got 16 mil.
Can't even.
I
I
ain't saying that
can't.
Marcus Stroman shouldn't be signed. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying
No.
I don't think he comes to the Yankees. There's a, if you say the same with Bowers, there's a distraction with Bauer. There's a distraction with Stroman. You blocked the whole base almost.
How many times? How many times? Put it like this. Let's just call a spade a spade. How many times has Stroman been in the headlines for something other than his play?
A lot.
And
A lot.
that
And it's the
goes
mouth.
along. That goes along with it. That's baggage.
Bingo.
You got to remember. You're talking about. Let's put the other teams aside right now. Right. This is a Yankee podcast. Let's just focus on the Yankees for a sec. You'd be talking about bringing a guy in who's already very, very polarizing. Right.
Yeah.
The Yankees have. It's not that we haven't done it in the past. It's not that the Yankees haven't brought in guys that the fans were opposed to in the past. I mean, we just got out of the Josh Donaldson saga. So I'm not saying like, oh, there's no precedence for this, because no, Cashman has done it before, right? But as recently as it just happened, like that Josh Donaldson wound is still wide open in Yankee land. I don't know if this is the offseason where, a guy like Stroman is even something they would entertain, just because it's the Yankees. Like, you come
And
here.
we just got Soto.
On top of that, and
You know
that's
what I mean?
already
It's kinda
that's
like,
fire.
why?
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's already it's just that would be one of those moves where you'd be looking at it like, okay, I think Cashman might be trying to get a little too cute here. Like,
Yeah, and
I get you, but that could
it's
blow
one
up.
of those things where it'll happen when desperation truly sets in. It's like, bro, there ain't nobody else out there. 1-year deal for this cat. He takes it. Let's run with it. Let's try it out. I mean, that's one of those things.
You
And-
put it really well, because that's the only way that I'd entertain it.
Yeah, and I also talked to one of my friends on Twitter. We talk a lot. My friend Nate and my other friend, another guy actually messaged me about it too. Daniel Cunningham is another good guy. He's in the chat a lot. But Daniel he was like, when it gets to desperation, if the Yankees were to get somebody like a Snell, if you added Stroman later down the line as like a number 5, and you kind of just blend in and give us some, then maybe it's a little more acceptable to the fan base. But Marcus Stroman did dig a little bit of a hole for himself. And should he get a job? 100%. Nobody's saying that Marcus Stroman shouldn't. But no, Marcus Stroman is an athlete. He's a competitor. He wants to do. I have no issue with Stroman besides the time he's opened his mouth about the Yankees, going back and forth with Yankee fans. Yeah, and now you're kind of saying, hey, I like to play for you guys. And the Yankees organization could just be like, bro, fuck you. We're good. We'll do this right here. Right here.
You Parmesan sandwich. Fuck you.
That's it. That's all they got to do. Jonathan Cariso says, sign Snell, trade for Bieber, sign Bauer. Let Bieber or Bauer compete for 2025. Then sign Burns. Also get Hicks for the pen. A lot of good moves there, but we are now going to get into that talk. This is from our good friend, Hal Steinbrenner. Managing partner Hal Steinbrenner is said to be on board with the concept of a serious addition to the rotation that suffered a couple of losses via trade and free agency. There you see the guy right there. Again, guys, if you're not following NYYU on Twitter, at NYY Underground, go give us a follow. But Francis, let's start there, man. There's obviously the big hole here, right? This is the big factor of how the Yankees finished their offseason.
Yeah.
And I believe, I'm sorry I got to do this to everybody, but if George was alive, am I allowed to do that? If George was alive, if George was alive when those were the days, I could tell everybody right now, and I guarantee it, Blake Snell would be a Yankee already. Just because of the headline of taking the National League Cy Young to be with the American League Cy Young, he would spend the money just for the headline, and he put it out there and be good to go. Do you agree with that or disagree with that? That's a George move.
I can't disagree with that.
It's a George move.
It has George
100%.
written all over it. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. George was about headlines. George was about headlines. He believed in momentum a lot, which I think, is one of the things where I've been critical, at least, of how, over the last decade or so, that you just feel like the Yankees have become one of those teams where they lose the headlines a lot. Like they're in the headlines, but they're not always winning them. It's always like a lot of it's negative. And George was big on, especially during the offseason, making a splash, putting something out there to, create that momentum for the team going into the season. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And whether you believe that translated to wins or did not translate to wins or not, that's fine. But I feel like there is something to be said about it, just because, you come into the building in spring training already feeling like an energy, a buzz. There's an electricity in the air. I'm not saying that that's not already the case with the Yankees. I mean, they did trade for Soto. They added Verdugo, a couple nice additions to the bullpen.
Yep,
that's true. But what you're saying is evil empire shit, right?
Yeah,
that's what we're talking about here at this point.
And that's what. By the way, too, I always talk about this because this is something that we all felt. When the Yankees signed Soto, what was the words out of our mouth? Me and Mario said, we're back.
Yeah.
Because that was the reaction. Like, holy shit, come on, baby. Like, the Yankees are back to being that squad. They're back to being that squad that says, fuck around and find out.
Yeah,
we missed the playoffs, so sit back because now there's a hurricane coming through.
It felt like it, especially as quickly as it happened into the offseason.
And it needs to get back to it. They desperately need pitching. There was a little bit of news today. This is from Bob Nightingale. I'll throw this on the screen. But the Yankees are interested in two players, again, that we already know about. Jesus Luzardo, Shane Bieber. These are guys that a lot of us have been talking about now for quite some time. But there's interest there. They would obviously improve this club. They're, of course, also interested in the two big free agents that are left, Monty and Snell. They're also interested in Dylan Cease. Rumors right now regarding Dylan Cease is that the ask is still a bit too high, to the point that even Baltimore isn't biting at it. They're kind of sitting back going like, I mean, fam, you guys could keep him or we can make a deal or something. And everybody's kind of shying away right now. Yeah. Lazardo's a guy that I think we would all be crazy over.
I don't know how you couldn't be. I don't know how anybody would speak negatively about a deal for Lazardo. He's absolute box office. You bring him here to the Bronx, you put him in this rotation with a dog like Garrett Cole. I mean, this is a kid who wants to compete. You know what I mean? This is a kid who comes out there looking to take people's heads off when he's out there on the mound. Like, he goes right at you. I mean, I can't speak highly enough about him. And then just the thought of being able to pair an attitude like that, an attitude and talent like that with Matt Blake and Garrett Cole, because at this point, when I look at our pitching and our rotation, I look at it in regards to the two-headed monster at the top, which is our pitching coach and Matt Blake, and our ace, our staff ace, and Garrett Cole, man. Like, those are the two guys who lead us, and this is a kid who I would love to put with those two guys.
You see those three above average pitches right there, right?
Yeah,
beautiful,
man.
Beautiful to see. Averages 97 on the fastball from the left side. I mean, fantastic stuff overall.
Yeah, no, it's tantalizing stuff. Really, it really is. Not a lot of starting, efficient starting left pitchers in baseball. It's always been a sport that's dominated by the right-hander. So you see a kid like this, obviously the opportunities, the potential. It's exciting, and I'd love for the Yankees to make a deal like this. And
we all know, right? We already know that somebody like Lazardo, who's controlled for 3 seasons, he's gonna be expensive.
With
But
good
I
reason.
want to, with good reason, I'm right there with you. I want to throw this one at you, Francis, because this is how I feel. Maybe
Okay.
you feel differently. I think Dane feels a little differently on this, and I bring Dane up because we talk a lot about the prospects on the Yankees and all that, and what the Yankees need. And Dane, let me rephrase that. Dane didn't disagree with this. He believes this is what the Yankees would do, and I don't necessarily disagree with that. But for me, I think you sign Monty or Snell, who, what I'm hearing, they're leaning more towards Snell in that regard. If that money's going to be close to being similar, the Yankees feel like maybe those years will come down, the AAV could go up, and they could lock him in. Maybe there's an opt-out in there somewhere.
Which is what they like. Lower years, higher AAV.
And I think, to be honest, with either one of those guys, I like that more.
Yeah, no, agreed. Me too.
But when it comes to what I want the Yankees to do, to really be gung-ho about the season, go to spring training, be pumped up, be excited, I'll be sitting here going, they're the World Series team to beat in the American League. I'll be waving that flag around. We still got Boone, but hey, only he could fuck it up then. Then it's on him.
You're right.
So that's the beautiful thing about it. But I want to trade too. I'm not cool with you just add Snell and sit back and go, all right, we're good. I want a signing and I want a trade. And I'm not talking about if they get Snell, they got to get Lazardo, they got to get Cease. No. Just add somebody else that has potential. And I'm going to sit back and go, come on, baby, let's go. I'm 100% okay with this.
Let me ask you this then. In that scenario, they signed Blake Snell.
He's going to say,
and
go ahead,
they add Blake Snell, and then a couple, say 2-3 weeks go by, and Stroman is still in the wind.
Sign him.
Exactly. Okay. See,
No
and
problem.
that's where I'm at with it.
No problem.
I just the reason I responded the way I did to when we brought it up just now is because I don't think the Yankees are at that stage of the offseason. I think
it would be an absolute disaster if Stroman's the only pick. Think about that, how bad that would be for the fans and for him. That's something that if I'm Cash, I'm like, bro, I would sit down with Cash by Cash. Ain't no way you could bring this dude as the only guy.
Nah.
You can't do that, man.
It would be the worst stage. Even now, even if they signed him now and then went on to sign a Blake Snell after, the vitriol that would come from the time between signing him and the next bigger signing, it could really fuck up his mental, just because right now the Yankees just aren't at that stage where adding a Stroman is going to move the needle for fans. Fans are going to react in a very bad way. And yeah, you could say, oh, but that's the thing. Fans, they overreact, and that's they jump off the ledge too quickly and stuff. Yeah, but at the end of the day, fan stands for fanatic, and that's what people do. And you don't start an off season with the acquisition of a Juan Soto to end, to start looking like this a little, when it's already towards the end of it. It's just not it's not the best look. And it just speaks to the point of what you're saying, bro. It's been a good off season. But good off seasons, I mean, those are a dime a dozen. Tons of teams have good off seasons. You know what I mean? I like what Arizona's done this offseason. I think Arizona's had a good off season. You know what I'm saying? But
very good.
Do I think that they're going back to the World Series next year? I mean, nobody would thought they were going last year, but no, I don't think they're going back based off of a good off season. I mean, the Dodgers signed fucking Shohei Ohtani and went and turned around 2 weeks later and grab the number one starting pitching free agent on the market.
And they're apparently not done yet, too. No. So they're still looking for an outfielder.
And I'm glad that you say that, because that's the difference between good and great. That's the difference right there between good and great. And that's what we're talking about with the Yankees. Okay, it's good. The offseason's been good. Don't get me wrong. We're not. I mean, I see people on Twitter saying, oh, you're a typical Yankee fan. Didn't you get Soto? Yeah. Okay, we got Soto. We got Verdugo. It's nice. It's good. The offense, I said it on last week's episode. I'm rolling with this offense. But you can't afford to not address this rotation.
Not at all, man.
Or just throw a Marcus Stroman at it and call it a day.
No way.
There's no way. No, there's no way. There has to 100% has to be something bigger, and that's why. The quotes that we put out, that we put with the NYU account are good. That's a welcome sign to Yankee fans, because we want our owner to say exactly that. Like, yeah, I'm on board with a big addition to this rotation. Okay. So clearly you're seeing what we're seeing. You're right.
Because remember last year, we're not done yet, this and that, and then we sitting back going, all right, man, come on now. Like, what's going on here?
It's good that you say that. It's good that you say that. We've been here before.
Right, and you can't keep piling on those type of quotes with no action behind it. The only thing I will say for Hal Steinbrenner is he did step up for the Soto deal. because that
definitely
was
did.
rumored that Cashman's people were like, do not give up both of those guys in that deal. Don't make it happen. Hal picked up the phone and says, whatever you got to do, get it done. Like, that's it. No more talking about this. Get it taken care of. The
That's
other
a salute.
guy,
So you got to salute him for that. You're right.
no doubt about it. And if he does this again, there's nothing you can say about him. This offseason. But the other guy they talked about is right here, Shane Bieber. Only really good thing I like about Bieber is he doesn't walk guys and he had a pretty high ground ball rate. Other than that, I mean, he pitched to a 3.80 ERA, previous year 2.88, previous year to that 3.17. Velocity's been going down a bit. Those are things to be concerned with, obviously. As you see, he still has an above average slider, still has an above average curveball and an above average changeup. He is a pitcher. So
Yes, sir.
maybe going to a team that he gets back with Matt Blake. If he is healthy, I'm sure they'll take a very serious look at his medicals. But here's another guy. You add a Snell, you add a Monty. You could throw Bieber in there as maybe your number 4. Shit. I mean, now you're talking about legitimate rotation.
Yeah, now with something like that, I'm all in. I'm bought in. I'm ready to ride. You got me there. I mean, obviously you're gonna have me there spring training. You're gonna have me there likely opening day. But I mean, with a rotation like that, like, yeah, man, like I'm rolling. This is all I've asked for as a fan the last decade. It feels like, just, give me an off season that doesn't feel incomplete. Like you're handing in the assignment incomplete. Like, and it feels like in Yankee land over the last, over this last several seasons, it feels like every offseason, it's like we're handing in incomplete work, incomplete. And there's always excuses. There's always excuses. There's always, the package that was presented to us was just way too high. Obviously we were getting the Yankee tax. They were asking for more from us than they were from other teams, or with certain free agents, we just weren't comfortable at that price point. There's always 1,000,001 excuses.
Of course.
But I think at this point where I'm at, sounds like where you're at, it's just get it done. They have to. Get it done.
Again, just to repeat on something that is going to continue to be repeated for quite some time, is you can't just get Soto and do a win now move and then just forget about it. You can't do that.
No, because then
you
what's the
got to
point?
go out there and get a legitimate guy, and that is it.
Think about it.
And if there is going to be a cost of talent, you got to do it. So even going back to what Dane said, I read that also. Hirsch, what's going on, my guy? What's going on, everybody in the chat? Make sure you hit that likey and the subby if you have not. But going back to what Dane said, because I read the same thing. As of right now, according to a couple of sources, Cease, to get Dylan Cease, they want Dominguez and Jones plus. So here's what the White Sox are doing. They're doing the right thing. It's exactly what I said they should do. You got 2 years of this guy. There's no reason to trade him. You don't have to.
No.
You could trade him mid-year. You could trade him next year. You don't have to jump the gun. So what they're doing is, if anybody is stupid enough to go ahead and put all their eggs in one basket and say, it's yours, we'll trade him, no problem. But the only way we trade him is if it's our demand. There is no negotiation here. It's what we want, and that's it. And they're probably not truly serious about dealing him unless they get blown away. And for the Yankees, I'm the first person to sit there and say you should trade to win now. But that move right there, that would be completely idiotic. You can't even consider that.
No, but there's a difference here. We're telling them to get it done, but we're not saying get it done with stupid and reckless moves. We're not
correct.
We're not talking about being reckless. We're saying that there are moves to be made within the realm of reason.
Yeah.
There's tons of moves out there that are reasonable moves. Look.
Yep.
Blake Snell is going to get paid money. We know that, right?
That's it. But that's all it is, right? It's money.
It's just money at the end of the day. And when it comes to a team like the New York Yankees, who now in 2024 will be going on, their 4th season removed from the, atrocity that was the COVID year, their revenue is expected to be through the freaking roof. You added a Juan Soto. I mean, there's a lot of excitement around the team. When you look at a contract for a guy like Blake Snell and it's just dollars and cents.
Yep.
It's realistic, okay? We're not talking.
Yamamoto.
It's not reckless.
It's not
no,
what you were already offering on the table.
It's not Yamamoto money. It's not Yamamoto money or Yamamoto years. It's not Yamamoto money or years.
No doubt about it. And the other thing, Francis, too, that we got to remember, because I've been a bit sold on the idea of Snell. And don't get me wrong. Look, every pitcher we're talking about comes with a baggage. There's everybody you could look at and go, it's a bit concerning.
There's nobody of it.
That's a big.
Yeah.
There's no Cole out there where you're like,
Yeah.
Cole's a dog, man.
No.
Burns isn't a free agent. You know,
There's
you
no
got to go out there
surefire thing right now.
Exactly. So for me, when I look at this, I go, is the Giants even considering it anymore? When they made the deal for Blake, are they going to be a team that's coming to the table with maybe $200+ million?
For Blake Snell.
Will the Red Sox? I don't think so. The Red Sox are having some sort of money issues. They don't know what they really want to do there.
And they're talking about trading Yoshida, for Christ's sake.
Exactly. Texas is out there. Imagine the Yankees got Yoshida somehow. I don't get rid of it. Yeah, anyway, forget it. No,
you want to open that box? I don't know.
I don't know how to even make that work.
I don't know.
That is absolutely past. But they got to figure out a way, and the easiest way to really build a World Series team. We talk about the easy path, the plan A, how simple it is on paper. The Yankees very rarely execute on this. But again, the simple path here, pay the dude money and trade for somebody. Now, am I saying you got to go out there and trade Jones for a pitcher? No. I got one I want to talk to everybody about because the best friend of the New York Yankees and Brian Cashman is the Pittsburgh Pirates. They're a team that we always make trades with. But I'm not talking about the guy you guys think. I'm not talking about Mitch Keller. Mitch Keller is he's gonna cost something really good. They made the man Jones in a Mitch Keller trade because the breakout year that Keller had, 200+ Ks. He's still very young. Yeah. I understand that.
Tons of control left.
There's the guy I think, and I think this is a really friggin' fair trade. Johan Oviedo is a really smart trade. And let me tell you why. Now, I don't like this side a lot, but let me throw this on the screen. Everson Pereira for Oviedo. Straight up. Straight up. You get a very good young outfielder that's control for years to come, and a good young starting pitcher that's control for years to come. You pull up Oviedo's stats here. This kid got almost 4 above average pitches. Almost 4 above average. But wait, Omar's telling me he's out for the year. Is that for real? Well, if that's the case, just delete this segment.
Hold on.
If that's the case, you can go ahead and delete this segment. This was brought to you by AARP. The reason I must have dementia. He's out for the year. You don't even got to look. I just saw it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. That ain't gonna work. Tommy John surgery. I mean, that fits the Yankees very well. So we can very well make that trade because he did have Tommy John.
Yeah, so he checked that box. He checked that box.
Check that box. Bring him on over. All right, redo that. What does it take to get Mitch Keller? Figure that the fuck out.
He's like, fuck it, though. Let's go all the way.
Let's just turn the page on that horrible segment because I thought I had an idea, but it turns out I had dick. That's it.
Happens sometimes. What are you gonna do?
Well, we got 500+ people in there, guys. Do me a favor, hit that like button for us.
Mackie the likey.
It doesn't at that point really. If it is Stroman, I wouldn't care. If it's Bieber, I don't care. Just get another solid arm that can really, really help this rotation out. If you get a Snell, get another pitcher, and I'm good to go. I'm going to be sitting here screaming at the top of my lungs that this is a World Series caliber team legitimately, and I believe that. If they do that, I believe that.
I mean, you'd be adding a 2-time Cy Young winner to pair against the reigning AL Cy Young winner and our boy, the dog, the horse, Garrett fucking Cole, right? You pair that with the hopes of a bounce back season from a Carlos Rodon who's looking to come into 2024 healthy, with his mind right, ready to go out from day one. I mean, look, let's be honest here. We knew that 2023, there were some question marks even after, signing the deal with Rodon because, the injury history and all that, okay, he's going to, have a, little bit of a, starting a little bit behind the 8 ball because, not having the full spring training and all that. That shit doesn't, that doesn't, behoove a starting pitcher. But going into 2024, there's a lot of cause to look at a guy like Carlos Rodon and to expect a bounce back year. And let me tell you something. This is super optimistic Francis here. But I mean, if you grab Blake Snell, right? Garrett Cole is Garrett Cole, right? Even more motivated after winning his first Cy Young. He wants to go back to back, right? You get Blake Snell. He's motivated. Why? Because he sat out there in free agency until freaking January, and he had to watch the short Japanese, quote unquote, Pedro get signed before him after he just won his second Cy Young. So he's motivated. You got Carlos Rodon in his second year of a 6-year pact with the Yankees, had a shitter in 2023. Everybody said everything about him, but he knows deep down inside he got that dog in him. So he's coming back. You got Nestor, the molester. No, let's not even play with that. Let's not even play with
Holy
that.
shit.
You got
My
Nestor.
God.
You got
Holy
Nestor.
shit.
And the mustache. He's coming back. He didn't have the 2023 he wanted to have. He's another guy who's looking to, prolong his baseball career and prolong his stay on one of the biggest stages, if not the biggest stage in all of baseball. He's motivated. You got Clark Schmidt, who is another guy who is young and motivated. I am rolling. You add another guy to that, like a Stroman or a Bieber, like we're saying.
Yeah.
And you're giving me a rotation of guys who want to go out there, take the ball, and kill people. That's what I want. That's what I want.
Unalive.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Here we go. Listen,
be careful
I'm so problematic, man. This is the thing. This is why I have to have 2 X accounts, and I have to.
You got 14 burners.
We're gonna have to start the shadow. We're gonna have to start the shadow channel just in case. But this is what I'm saying, man. You give me a rotation of dogs, man. I just want 5 to 6 dogs who want to go out there and pitch and compete and win. I want people who are coming here to win.
Win. That's what we need. You've seen him. You've seen how strong he is. You can't win.
You can't win, Rock.
You can't win. Then say I can't win, bitch. You gonna see me win, damn it. And Rock went out there and won, damn it. He went out there and won.
That's right.
We wanted to do our highlighted tweet of the week and discuss this a little bit, coming from our friend at Yankees fan Earl. You guys know Earl. Marlins desperately need plug-and-play MLB bats at catcher, shortstop, and DH. I think Wells, Peraza, and Glaber is a really strong starting point for a deal for Lazardo. New York Yankees would likely have to add in another prospect, and maybe Miami throws in a BP arm, but there's a deal to be made there. I would say this. I think Wells showed enough towards the end of the year that the Yankees have a lot of young catchers. You could certainly flip-flop that a little bit. And they're not catchers that are extremely far away. I'll be against trading Wells. I'll be honest with you. I think Wells is going to be a much better hitter than Anthony Volpe is. And I think some people may disagree with that. I like him a lot. You know who I saw a lot in his swing towards the end of the year with a little more power? I saw a lot of Nick Johnson, like healthy Nick Johnson, when he was just a beast, just smacking the ball anywhere.
Nick Johnson, okay.
Nick Johnson, okay.
Okay.
Who thought you hear Nick Johnson today? But okay. But he got Austin Wells, a guy I'm trying to stay away from trading. I think Wells has a chance to really be impactful for this team.
I love his attitude too.
Yeah, when it comes to Lazardo, I don't know what the match is there because yes, we could look at Wells, Peraza, and Glaber, but the thing is, a lot of times we don't know what other teams value these guys. That's the thing. How do other teams value Peraza? How do other teams value Everson Pereira and Gleyber Torres on his last year? What's the value there for us to give you 3 years of a young elite Lazardo?
Yeah.
For, some of these guys that we might consider pretty fringe.
It's interesting. I think like what stuck out to me was, initially Wells was the first name that stuck out to me. Not a name that I was thinking of being involved in any trade at all in this offseason. And so the reason I liked it is because initially I read it and I was like, oh no. Like, oh no, not at all. I can
see why teams would want him, no doubt.
I'm with you. Like, I really like Austin Wells, and I really want to see what he's going to look like in 2024. I'm expecting big things from him. But then I kept reading it, and I'm just like, it's Lazardo. And I was like, okay, if I'm Miami, like the first part of the tweet rings really true. That's what they're looking for. They need plug and play guys tomorrow, right? Correct. They need to fill out an MLB roster with MLB ready players. And prospects are nice, but they want guys who have at the very least gotten their feet wet and looked like they belonged. And when you put a package together of Wells, Peraza, Glaber, like, okay, it's like, okay. Now, what you're saying is true. We don't necessarily know exactly, how other teams value these guys. But what I will say is, I mean, just the simple fact that we are so opposed to trading Wells tells me other people have seen what we've seen, and they're probably thinking the same thing. Yeah, this guy's a dog. We'd love to have him. With Peraza, I think it's the same thing. I think there's other teams out there that probably looked at the Yankees and say, I don't know how they didn't give this kid the shot over Volpe, just going off of what they looked like coming up at the time they did, right? So I'm pretty sure there's other teams out there who would love to have Peraza, and they'd be right. Would they be right just off the simple fact that we know the glove that he brings, and we haven't given him the extended look for the bat to even really get to where it's said that it could get to?
Yeah.
When you go to Gleyber Torres and 1 year left to Torres, I think it's very simple. I think it's does the team believe that they have at least the outside chance of re-signing him going past the year? And if you're Miami, I think you'd have to feel good about your chances of re-signing a guy like Gleyber Torres, just because, I mean, he spends a lot of time in Florida. Not just, for Yankees related thing, but he just spends a lot of time in Florida. Miami's a destination, whether you want to see it or not. It may not be as much of the destination for, regular American players or African-American players, but for Latino American players, Miami is a huge destination.
No doubt.
And
No doubt.
Gleyber Torres would find himself more than at home in Miami. And even if this trade is something that just goes by the wayside, doesn't happen or whatever, when Gleyber Torres his free agency, I 100% expect a team like the Marlins to be at the top of the list for his suitors. Like for me, he makes a ton of sense over there. And I think Gleyber would be real successful down there. I really do. So you'd be looking at it for 1 year now, but I think you have to also think, do we feel like we stand the chance of re-signing him? It's not like you're sending Gleyber to Oakland or Chicago. I'm not saying Chicago's as bad as Oakland, but I'm saying, say Gleyber went, right, in some world that Gleyber went in a deal for Cease, right? If you're the White Sox, like, you got to really think, like, do we stand a chance at re-signing this guy after the year? Like, is he going to want to stay in Chicago? Like, what are we, and again, I'm not trying to shit on Chicago here. I know Chicago's one of the biggest cities in the States or whatever, but we're talking about a kid from Venezuela. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to appeal to the player.
It's more of a home thing, exactly. A home feel.
Miami, he can walk around. He could walk around. I'm glad you said home, because that's the thing with Miami. I feel like a guy like Gleyber can walk around Miami and feel very at home. Like, it wouldn't,
no doubt.
It wouldn't be hard for him to matriculate over there and resettle his family or whatever. I mean, who knows? The wife and the kid, they might like it better than New York. I mean, I'm a New York kind of guy myself, but I definitely see the draw for Florida, bro. I can't knock it. I can't knock it.
It'll make sense. It could definitely make sense. I just don't know, what Miami is looking for
exactly
in a deal for Lazardo, because they're probably sitting there going, the more, forget about last season and the numbers he put up, which are very good. He has 3 years of cheap control that a team is then going to get that we can just hold on to, and really doesn't do anything bad for us. So it's probably along the same lines of the Cease deal. Where they're sitting back going, like, we don't have to move this kid. Like, unless we get whatever it is that we want from your roster, we don't have to really move that.
Yeah, you'd have to blow them out of the water.
No doubt. We got a couple of super chats. Acevedo, my guy, says Snell, Bieber, and Jordan Hicks. I'd be out of my mind happy with the remainder of that being the offseason. We got our brother Ronnie, says Bauer power. That is all, fellas. I'd be happy with Snell and Bauer. I'd be very happy for that. I know, there's going to be people that don't like that, but shit, sign me up for that if that's the case. I know I'd be okay with Snell and Stroman. I'd be okay with any two decent pair that can give the Yankees a little bit of innings, that can really just get shit going. And, put this team as a winner. Again, if you got that 1-2 punch, that's a righty-lefty punch, followed by likely, Carlos Rodon, who there's a lot of people that have forgotten about him.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are basically just going, hey, F this dude, he's done. Look, Carlos Rodon's a guy who, I hear it a lot, and I try to tell people, this ain't somebody that's scared to pitch in New York.
No.
If you watch a side-by-side, Francis, Johnny Lasagna, shout out to Johnny Lasagna on Twitter. He put a great side-by-side. I showed it a couple of times. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. Francis, you could tell he has no torque in his pitches. He's protecting his back. It's as clear as day.
Yeah.
It says you don't got to be a rocket science to see this. It's as clear as day. Hopefully, what is going on here is that maybe it had to do a little more to a conditioning. Yeah. Maybe he needs to get a little lighter, and maybe that's something we'll see. To Matt Blake's credit, he mentioned that. He did. Yeah. He mentioned conditioning probably has to be better going into next year. So that's likely on the radar for the Yankees already. But Carlos Rodon is a guy that if he came out and pitched the under a 4 ERA, 3.7, and that to me would be a great scenario. He could do better than that, but that's a great scenario. If he's able to do that, come on, man. I mean, this is now a legitimate rotation.
I strongly feel that Carlos Rodon will be even better than that next season.
He's not scared of New York.
No. Come
on, man. Stop that now. This guy's a dog. He took the ball knowing he was hurt because he even said it. I just wanted to show I could get out there. Like, that takes balls. He could have sat there and said, I'm out for the year, man. My back. I can't do it. This guy is not – he's not afraid of New York. He's got no bitch assness in him, all right? None. Zero.
That's my complete hang up when it comes to the whole hater thing, right? But when it comes to Rodon – I don't worry about that. I don't worry about, is this a guy who's going to shy away from taking the ball, whatever. No, he's going to take the ball. Even if he's not 100%, he's going to take the ball. Even if he's getting fucked up out there, he's going to want to go back out there. This is a guy who has that belief in himself. But like you said, in 2023, the physical wasn't there. Mentally, fine. But the physical wasn't there. Okay. Yeah. Like you said, Blake brought up the conditioning. I think that if it came to us in a public forum, this is a conversation that 1,000% took place behind the scenes already, long before that.
Yeah, he wouldn't say that without that being a conversation.
And I guarantee you, it wasn't the way that we heard it. Like, it could, definitely conditioning. I think behind the scenes, it was like, no, 1,000% next season, you probably need to come in like this. Like, let's just
this weight or
no
doubt.
Let's just be fair. Let's just put it out there. Like, for you to be successful, like, this is probably how you're gonna have to come in here. Like, he's a guy who I haven't seen much of in the way of, off season and stuff like that. I'd love to see what he looks like right now. I know we went a little bit crazy with the Stanton stuff a little while ago, Stanton, slimmer, whatever. That's cool. Exciting, good for him. I want to see what Rodon looks like.
Me too.
Me personally, that's the one that I'm like, I want to see what he looks like. And I know he's working, right? I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen a video. I haven't seen nothing. This is just me in my heart saying, like, I know this guy's working because this is who he is. Yep. I'm not ready to throw in the towel on Carlos Rodon. I said it
no way.
Towards the end of last year, bro. It's the first year of the deal. I'll tell you this. We can't do it after 1 year.
I've been a major supporter of Rodon, and I'm still that. But he gets off to a bad start next year, and it just there looks like there's a lot of kind of negativity coming from it. He's I'll give it to him, no doubt about it. I'll let everybody know this is not looking like anything that could turn out to be good. This could be pretty damn bad. But until then, that man got time. That man got time for me. Slim Lewis says a team that is all in doesn't trade Gleyber. I would agree and disagree on that. The reason why I agree and disagree on that is if the Yankees went out there, they had two solid starting pitchers. It's not that you're losing offense because you've already gained offense, but you also got to remember you could balance some things out. If Peraza ended up being your second baseman, or they put him at third and DJ LeMahieu at second base, and maybe bring somebody else in that could come off on the bench and do a good job, like a Gio Urshela. If that's the case, I think you still have greatly improved your team and you're not losing as much by moving Gleyber Torres.
Yeah,
the right deal. You're not just going to give him away.
I was going to say, I disagree with that. I don't know how you say that, like a team that's, going to in win now mode doesn't trade Gleyber. I mean, in the right deal, I don't think you can say that Gleyber's untouchable right now. It's just that's where I'm at with it. I don't think you can say that. I'm not saying you put Gleyber in a deal for Shane Bieber or something like I'm not. I'd like for Gleyber not to be in a deal for like a Shane Bieber. I don't think that makes a ton of sense. But depending on what you're getting back, if Lazardo is headlining the deal that's coming back this way, I'm sorry, I'm not going to feel like we just made a mistake getting rid of Gleyber Torres. And no way. I'm not a Gleyber hater, man. I'm not a whatever. I like Gleyber Torres.
I talked about it a lot. I said I think he looked better overall, especially in the second half.
While we were calling playoff games, I said it. I think it was one of the earlier series. I was like, look, we say what we want about Gleyber Torres. The moment he's not here, it's going to be tough to replace that production at second base. Right.
Yeah,
And
no doubt about it.
we said this. All right. When this is not, whatever, you can go back. It's on the channel. Okay. It was one of those game season lives of the playoff. We said it. Replacing his production at second base is not something that the Yankees are going to find easy to do. That's giving the man his flowers and his credit. But I mean, in the right deal, Pete, I don't know. I'm not going to say no if it's the right deal.
Yeah. And the other thing you got to remember is something that we've said about Gleyber Torres for a long time is the Yankees probably are not going to be the team to re-sign him. And give him a 6-7 year contract. I highly doubt that, especially what they have coming up. You got, Roger Gary is coming up. You got Jared Serna, who looks really, really unbelievable. That's a name everybody should pay attention to or remember. Jared Serna. He could be a real breakout for the Yankees.
Yeah.
Rod Thompson with the super chat says, the Yankees lost a ton of leverage by not playing Peraza regularly. I don't disagree with that. If they had a full year of playing Peraza, and would you put up numbers similar to Gleyber, then you could have traded Gleyber easier. I agree with that in the sense, I don't know if he would automatically put up what Gleyber did last year, because let's be fair, it's almost 800 OPS, 20 plus homers, batted 270 something? Or I think it was like 274, 273, something like that, I want to say.
He's in that neighborhood, yeah.
Somewhere around there. But Gleyber had an overall solid season. I mean, there's not much knocking you can do on Gleyber Torres. Yeah, last year he had 273. 453 slugging, 347 on base percentage. He walked a lot more than he ever did last year. Swung and missed a lot less than he ever did. So there is a lot of good things there, but I wouldn't say it's not a all in move to trade him. I think it depends on what that deal is. That's like the Yankees doing everything right. And let's say they've added Bieber and Snell, and you're like, holy shit. And then all of a sudden, a team with a solid young closer or a good closer, or a late, solid, really good late inning reliever calls you. And he has to be a part of that deal. And you're like, that makes our team a whole lot better.
Like that's the last piece that we're looking for.
Yeah, that's like something
shit.
You look at and go, well, we're not going to sign anybody. Jordan Hicks, maybe it's a bit too expensive now. Somebody makes that call. It's like, for Gleyber. And I'm not saying who it is. I'm not putting the name out there. I'm just simply saying if that were the case and you could really improve the back end of your pen, and you might feel that's a little bit of a weakness.
Like
if that's something you gotta
if it's a Devin Williams.
Oh, I mean, come on, man. I mean, obviously we know it's going to be a lot more than just one dude. But holy shit, yeah. If you got a chance to improve that team further, you go out there and do it. There's no denying that. You have to.
Again, it's what we've been harping on this entire episode. We're talking about where the Yankees need to go to take this offseason from just being a good offseason to becoming a great offseason, to becoming the offseason that we as fans have been waiting for the better part of a decade now. And it's going to take, make no mistake about it, this is not hyperbole. This is just the Spittaz doing what we do best, spitting facts. It is going to take a great offseason for the Yankees to become World Series contenders. As it currently stands, with the addition of Soto, with the addition of Verdugo, with the additions to the bullpen, that reworked and new look lineup, they are not a World Series contender.
Yep.
Let's just call a spade a spade. Yes, we do have Garrett Cole at the top of this rotation. After Garrett Cole, we have a bag of question marks. That's not a World Series contender. Like right now, we're looking at a team that we don't know if they have the rotation to get through the regular season. How could you think about the World Series?
Yeah, that's what I said before.
How could you think about the World Series?
Now, if you're being fair, I'm not even joking. You can make a strong case that this could be a third place team in the East, if that.
As currently constructed, it wouldn't shock me.
Look, there was a great point that Christian brought up to me when I was on NYST. He made a lot of sense. He said, yeah, but we only won 82 games with Garrett Cole being the best ace that we've had in years. We only won 82 games.
So the
offense has gotten better. I understand that. We lost a lot of games due to a poor offense.
Yeah.
But it's not a world. If you just want to be fair and not talk about where the standings are, it's definitely not a World Series caliber team. It's not one of the best teams in the American League. It's just not.
Right now, we're looking at a team, to be honest, that, yes, like, could you expect them to score a lot more in 2024? Of course, right? I expect them to be a very potent offense going into 2024, right? Great. Starting pitching wise, though, after Garrett Cole, I don't see where we're getting all the innings that we lost. So what does that lead me to think? That leads me to think that going through the first half of the season, like every team in baseball, we're going to be leaning heavily on that bullpen, which I like. Right now, the bullpen is a strength for me. You add another piece of that bullpen, and I'm talking about, I'm going to run out there saying that we got the best one. All right, for me,
I'm
personally,
still a big fan of Jordan Hicks too.
I'm with you.
I really like
I'm with
Jordan
you.
Hicks a lot. Whatever Pete Walker did for him in Toronto, he threw more strikes. He didn't his strikeout numbers was still very strong. But I think what he did was, I think Pete Walker, he's one of those guys that somebody had to get it across, say, bro, you're gonna strike guys out. Try for command. Try to let them put the ball in play, see what happens.
The strikeouts are going to be there. It's true. And for pitchers, sometimes, which the pitching is a very mental thing. So sometimes you need that because like you're going out there, like fans can see it sometimes before, and pitchers don't see it. Like they're like, oh, I'm struggling. I can't put guys away. And a fan will be looking at it like, but this guy's stuff is electric. Like, what does he mean? He can't put guys away. Like, no, but you get too focused on getting strike three that you're walking guy after guy after guy. And then now you got guys on. So now you're trying to pitch to contact and you're throwing meatballs and you're getting beat up. To me, Hicks is the get. Like when I think that this bullpen is one freaking arm away right now from me really buying into it and saying, yeah, I think we got one of the best ones in baseball. Hicks is the one I'm talking about. You give me a Jordan Hicks, you add him to that bullpen. I think you extend that bullpen even more. And then you have the possibility of throwing guys like Luis Gil in there. Like I'm telling you, I am so pumped for this bullpen this year. But
there's so much. There's a lot coming up that can really, this bullpen can be absolutely nasty.
But and this is and it's a big butt. I'm talking about this. This butt is a big, nice butt.
Okay, right? Nice cheeks. Okay,
this is a big butt. This is a Nicki Minaj special. Okay.
Megan Thee Stallion. Okay,
this a Meg Thee Stallion.
Pants that day. My God,
this a Meg Thee Stallion butt. Okay.
Oh, would you look at that?
If they don't address this rotation, no matter how good that bullpen is, they're gonna be gassed after the All-Star break. We've seen this story before. We've seen the story before with the high-powered, high leverage volt. But yeah, we've seen it. The Yankees have done it before. But what happens in August? Dog days of summer, guys are coming out. They can't get out. 6th, 7th inning. They're giving up the lead. Why?
Because Booney gets a hard on for taking pitches out before the 5th.
You know, Booney loves to press the button. Booney loves to press buttons. Loves to press the buttons.
This guy, I'm telling you.
Here we go.
Booney.
We're in the dog days of August, clinging to a 1-run lead or a 2-run lead, and you got guys coming in the 6th and the 7th, and they're giving up 2 and 3, and everybody's like, what happened? The Yankees had the best bullpen in baseball in the first half. Well, if you didn't have the rotation to give them that length, because I'm all for it at the beginning of the year. That's what baseball is now, Pete. We've seen it. The game has shifted. The beginning of the year, bullpens are of paramount importance because pitchers don't go deep into the games, right? They're still getting worked up to their innings and shit. So you got to have a strong bullpen. But what really carries you in July and August is that starting pitching. By then, you got to have that rotation, even that through injuries and through everything, is giving you length. 6 innings, 7 innings every now and then. You get a complete game thrown in every now and then. Give that bullpen a night off, shit like that. Right now, the Yankees don't have that. They have Garrett Cole and question marks. So right now, it doesn't matter how good the bullpen will be. It's going to be gassed in August. So what if it's gassed in August, what do you think is going to happen in October?
It's the same shit. I mean, it really is the same shit that we talk about almost every year, but... And that's why,
really
again, it's so important to add 2 starters. I know there's a lot of, like Dane's right? The Yankees could very well look at this and go, if we add Snell, we're done. That's all we have to do. Maybe add to the bullpen. Maybe add a Gio Urshela to the team because that is talk that's out there. Of course, he's training with Gleyber Torres all the time. They're good friends. I could definitely see that happening, and I'm a fan of that. I think I made like 2 videos regarding that. I think it makes a lot of sense. But the Yankees could easily sit back and go, well, we got Warren in AAA. We got Luis Gil that has come back. We got Chase Hampton that's probably going to start in AA. They could fly right up here really quick. And, we're comfortable with that. But for me, what I say to that is...
They signed a petite kid, too.
They signed a petite kid. But you also lost Johnny Brito. And I know people are go, what the fuck is Pete talking about? They lost Johnny Brito.
No, it matters.
It matters because Johnny Brito last year fit that 2 to 3 inning reliever role to a T, and he excelled at it. And trust me, folks, that role is very important. And the reason why I bring it up as that being important is I believe Nestor or Clark Schmidt could fill that role just as good and still be a spot starter. They could even piggyback. Who's the starter on the 5th day? Nestor? Okay, well, we know for a fact the person to come out the pen that day is Clark Schmidt.
Mm-hmm.
In a perfect world, you can piggyback that. And that would work very well. There's some people probably going, but Clark Schmidt was very good in the rotation. Agreed, but he was also good in the role the previous year. The exact role I'm talking about, he was really good in that role.
What was Nestor's best season?
You can play around with it.
What was Nestor's best season? I mean, you could argue, but I love the Chester year, right? Yeah. With Chad Green and him. I love the idea. I mean, I think it's the first time I'm hearing it this off season, seeing it as a realistic possibility. But yeah, you give me every 5th day, you give me Nestor to Clark Schmidt, I'm fucking rolling. I love that. Yeah. But in order to be able to do that, you got to add to the rotation, because right now it's currently constructed. You need both of those guys to start on their own days.
Facts.
Just doesn't work right now. We don't have the depth, and that's basically what it is. We don't have the depth. We don't have the depth. So I don't see how we make it through the year with what we currently have. We traded away 300 plus innings to San Diego in the Soto deal.
A lot, yeah.
We gotta find those innings.
Drew Thorpe was a guy that a lot of people were expecting, to be up this year.
Yep.
And he has that chance with San Diego now. But Slim Lewis brings up something. I also want to bring up something else also that I don't think a lot of people are talking about. Slim Lewis says Soto plus Verdugo. He says Glaber is not a World Series offense. So maybe you're talking about trading. Glaber ain't gonna make them not a good offense. You get rid of Glaber, adding those guys, that ain't gonna make that big of a difference. I mean, you got to talk. Let me just explain something real quick. I understand you want to look at the position, but Juan Soto adds a 400 on base percentage, tons of pop, average, and all that. Alex Verdugo is replacing Billy fucking McKinney or Bowers. How much better you think he's going to be than those guys? That is going to make up. There is no way in the world you can sit there and say if you take Glaber out of that team, they're no longer a very good offense. I disagree with that completely.
Guys,
somebody could make that up. It's not like Glaber's an MVP. He might be very good for that position. I'd give him that. Hey, but we're going a little too. We're going like he's Robbie Cano in his prime. Let's take it easy now.
No. But let's be honest. There wasn't a time where they were discussing Verdugo for Glaber straight up.
The previous season they were.
So let's stop. You know what I'm saying? Let's stop having that amnesia, because just last season there was discussions of Verdugo for Glaber straight up. And let's be honest, at the time. And even now, you can't really make the argument that would have been a terrible deal either way.
Not at all. And
when the Verdugo deal happened, I thought it was Glaber that was going over there.
On top of that, for the last 3 years, there's been multiple conversations about trading Glaber to Miami. Yep. So it's not like it hasn't been off the table. It's not like the Yankees feel like if we get rid of this guy, our offense is absolute ass. Now, I'll agree with you on this. Keeping him makes your offense look a lot nicer.
Oh, hell yeah.
But I'm not going to sit back, oh, my God, they got rid of Glaber. How did they do that? Oh my God, they made all these moves and they got rid of fucking Glaber. Forget, I'm done. That's it. No game season tonight, guys. I'm closing shop. It's not. It wouldn't be that batshit crazy.
No. Come on, guys. Get a grip, right? Buckle up. Still a lot of offseason left. We're not saying Glaber's gone. We're not saying that. This is not the episode after Glaber's been traded. What we're saying is that it's a possibility. Could happen.
Yeah.
And if it does happen, neither one of us are writing off the Yankees because of it. Because
no way.
I still think their offense is going to be primed to have a big year in 2024 because what Pete just said, you added Juan fucking Soto. I'm going to say it every episode from now until fucking opening day. You added Juan fucking Soto. Like, I get it. It's been a month and some weeks now. Maybe the hype has died down for a little bit. We're in the dead of winter now.
I got to add this in there. This is what we added.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why he's the MVP. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
What?
That's Soto. That's what you just added in there.
Come on now. Like, guys, let's be honest here. This is one of the best hitters in baseball, okay? Arguably one of the best, arguably the best left-handed hitter in baseball. And we're bringing him to the Yankees to pair with the arguable best hitter in baseball in Aaron Judge. Like, guys,
he's the best eye in baseball, guaranteed, right? We know that. Right?
No, there's no argument there. There's no argument there.
So the Yankees brought in a guy that fits the mold of the years they won championships. And that's exactly what we had to do. But I do want to shout out a comment because I forgot this guy. Thank you, Juice Man. 100% correct. Yoendrys Gomez can fill the role of Brito. I agree with that to a friggin' T.
Yes, sir.
Yoendrys Gomez is a guy that showed a lot last year, been on the 40-man for quite some time, and we did find out he does have an additional option. So does Luis Gil, and so does Oswald Peraza. So that also helps add to their value a bit, and also add to maybe them not making the team potentially and getting time in AAA. The right field pavilion with a super chat says, why do Yankee fans bring up Bauer, his name, as a possible free agent signing? Both he and Cole hate each other with a passion since their days at UCLA. I feel like that's overblown. And I'm going to tell you why I feel like that's a bit baloney. If I knew there was a player that had hatred for me, I mean, Bauer said it in his interview. If you listen to it, he goes, we've been to alumni games together and we sit there and talk about pitching for hours. I mean, is the guy, he's just lying about this? And he said it. He goes, I don't know how he feels about me right now after the allegations. Maybe it changed. But per my understanding, he vouched for me. I don't know why he wouldn't. I think that whole thing there is just, I think it's just been completely overblown. They act like these guys got in a fist fight or they slept with each other's wife or something. I mean, it's something like, it's weird. You know, it's just odd. It's like, I don't think there's a true hatred there.
First of all, the beginning of this rift between them, the foundation of it isn't even something that's really like, okay, like these guys will never talk so long as they live.
Right.
All right. This is regular, you know, teammate, competitive bullshit. Right.
And he mentioned that.
And
he mentioned that. He was like, he would love to compete with the best. He called Cole the best in the world. He's like, he's the best pitcher in the world right now. He's like, I would love to try to match up with him.
Yeah, you're talking about, I mean, I feel like when people bring it up, like, oh, Cole would never, guys, you're talking about college Cole. You're not talking about college. You're not talking about Garrett Cole married to Amy Cole with 2 beautiful children or 1 child and 1 on the way, whichever. I get confused. But like, this guy's married. He's a family man now. He's been with the Yankees a couple years.
Lucky he's a family guy.
He's won his first Cy Young. Like, this is not the same dude from UCLA, okay? Like, I doubt that Garrett Cole is losing sleep over whether or not Trevor Bauer is going to be a Yankee tomorrow or not. Garrett Cole knows this isn't UCLA. If this boy comes here and signs with this team, he knows he's coming into my house. This is my shop. I am the ace. There is no questions. There are no concerns. There will be no conversation. You know you are coming into Garrett Cole's house. And things are done around here the way Garrett Cole says. So he doesn't lose sleep over it. I'm sure he wouldn't care. Wouldn't care. Matter of fact, I'll go out on the limb to say he might welcome it. Because one thing about Garrett Cole, he wants to fucking win.
No doubt he has to win. That's the other thing. He has to win. That's the other thing. But I want to finish up the show on this note because you don't hear a lot of people talking about this. And I think it is kind of odd, to be honest. Maybe I haven't seen anybody talk about it, but we hear a lot that now Garrett Cole has, kind of said, it would be great to have Snell here. There's kind of been that chatter that he's mentioned that. We know that Snell is good friends with Aaron Judge.
Yes, sir.
Here's one thing we're forgetting. His teammates on the Yankees right now and Juan Soto.
Yeah.
What is that relationship like? They know each other from being in the clubhouse together. Is Soto even sitting there going, I mean, I watched this guy all year. Yeah, he could help us.
Grisham
is that's something that Grisham, Trent Grisham's another guy. Correct. These are guys that could easily vouch for who this player is. Maybe just what you're seeing right now is potentially the New York Yankees not wanting to go over the 200 million mark, and the value isn't there yet. But for me, I mean, I'm all over that. I know Kev. I wish Kev was in the chat because this is funny because Kev said it joking around. By the way, maybe. I don't know. You guys got to ask him. Maybe he was joking. Maybe he wasn't. He was like, oh, the good thing is there. Then you could trade Wells and bring back Gary, his personal catcher. So don't go beating up Kev because I don't know how he took it. Shit. So don't go get mad at Kev and go beat up Kev. He was drinking some Brugge. Maybe that was it. Maybe it was the alcohol talking, but I'm just saying.
I'm going to tell you right now, you don't know how much I would fucking love to see the Yankees do some shit like that. Just to see what Twitter is like. Oh, it would be a meltdown of epic proportion. Man, you got rid of West and you brought back Sanchez.
That lazy fat slob son of a bitch.
Oh, Earl.
How dare you?
I don't like that kind of talk.
My boy Earl would have a conniption. He'd be like, what?
Oh my God.
The slob is back. The slob is back.
The slob is back. Man.
Listen, but
imagine that was like a story of true redemption, though. Man comes back, hits 30 bombs.
I mean, would it surprise you though?
No,
I don't think it would have surprised.
He had a great time with San Diego.
Yeah, we said it when he was here. Gary Sanchez is a professional MLB hitter, guys. Like the defense is what it is. I think if any team who is investing in the Gary Sanchez market right now knows that you're not going to get, world-beating defense behind the plate, but what you are going to get is a solid, serviceable hitter with a lot of pop in the bat.
He had a 2.4 WAR last year, and that's in the only 240 at bats. What that means is that his offense was there, but his defense was too.
Yeah, he wasn't losing games.
He won us. I mean, look, at the end of the day, catchers do take pride if their pitcher wins the Cy Young Award. He caught him. He was his personal catcher. He was Blake Snell's personal catcher.
And he should take pride in that. And I'm sure Blake credits him a lot. Look, the relationship between pitcher and catcher cannot be overstated. All right. Yeah. There's you're out there on the mound. It is very, very easy to feel like a man on an island. And I think from young, at least with me, coaches always told me, don't isolate yourself. I understand that you're the pitcher. You got to feel like the guy. You got to be the guy. But remember that there's somebody standing 60 and a half feet from you, and he's on your fucking team, and he's there for you.
Yeah.
So you got to, that relationship is big.
I'm fucking laughing at her. She says Sanchez will make Glaber look motivated.
Yo, Hirsch never fails. Hirsch, Happy New Year, bro.
Hirsch is the GOAT.
Happy New Year, bro. But I'm glad you brought up the Garrett Cole stuff, because I will say that actually did catch my eye and surprised me a little bit, just because we're not used to seeing comments like that coming from Garrett Cole in the off season. So it's good. It's good. I think I like that Hal stated that at the beginning of the offseason that he'd had conversations with Judge and Garrett Cole, and that that they would be brought into the circle of trust, if you will. And hearing that Cole said, yeah, I'm on board for a Blake Snell signing, I'm like, okay, well then look, Garrett likes it. He likes it. He likes it. I love it.
I mean, let's wrap up with this, because we could probably do this almost every week now, because next week we'll be back on Monday.
Yes.
Correct. We'll be back on Monday. Guys, we're going to do Sundays throughout the regular season.
Yes, sir.
But Francis got some stuff going on, so we're still going to do DS. It'll be on Monday.
Oh, yeah.
We'll give you guys the time and all that fun stuff as we get closer. But as another week passes, who do you think the New York Yankees, who is the big starter they get? Forget the secondary. It could be whatever. Who do you think the big starter is they end up getting?
I feel like all the momentum and the tea leaves push me towards Snell right now.
That's
so I'm gonna go Blake Snell.
Snell, no doubt about it. He got the stuff. He is absolutely Uncle Filth when he is on. He is complete Uncle Filth when he is on.
Hit the bricks, you little tramp.
That's him right there, man. He is absolute Uncle Filth when he is on, folks.
I can't wait for Game Season Live this season. You guys have no fucking idea what this guy has prepared for you.
I have been working so much. I fucking Dane hit me up I think it was Dane. He goes, bro, that literally looks like ESPN, like back in the day.
It's better than ESPN, bro. I'm telling you.
That as a compliment, I guess, though. But
no, it does. Well, I like the back in the day stuff, because sometimes the graphics and stuff now are a little bit cheesy, but and lazy, just because they're ESPN. So once you get to a certain level, you kind of stop innovating. But we're still at that innovation point, and I got to tell you guys, the boss is in innovation mode right now.
I don't stop working, man.
That's what we're asking.
So there's something I'm working on now that's kind of like a not a highlight reel, but it's kind of like if you were playing a game and two teams are playing. It's like that cutscene, like showing the teams and all that, and then it shows like the logo and all that mess. So it looks great, but I got to do that for every single series of the year. So I'm working on putting all that together now, but everything that we're doing here is going to be amazing this year. Sir. And also, guys, for the best coverage of spring training, we're going to be there. We're going to be there for a whole week. So we got all that covered. It's going to be extremely exciting. I can't wait for it. A ton of live chats, a ton of work we'll be doing there. Again, stay tuned, man. If you are not subscribed to NYYU, I really don't know what to tell you, but Francis, take us out, man.
Come on, man. Y'all already know the OGs are back. I threw on the OG sweater today. Right here,
Yeah, I
you got.
still love it. I
That's
still love it.
listen,
Hey,
that's
that's-
this one.
yes,
Yeah, I'm saying, gotta bring it back. We got the
nice.
same. We got the same hat on. You know what I'm saying?
It's
Gotta,
nice. It's
gotta bring
nice.
the old with the new. You know what I mean? So
Oh, with the new baby.
I just wanna thank
Smacky
you
to
guys.
likey, hitty to subby.
just want to thank you guys, spending your Sunday evening with the Spittaz, man. Y'all already know. Keep it locked and stay tuned. Like I said, still a lot of off season to go. Still a lot of moves that can be made. Hopefully they will be made. But like, subscribe, tell your friends, your family, your grandmothers, of course. Don't forget the
Granny.
grannies and the abuelas, because
Yeah.
right here is where you got to be, because the next episode will in fact be the best episode.
And we will never come whack on a designated Spittaz track. Shout out to your mother. We out, baby. Until next time. Adios, muchachos.
Top 10 radar, yeah, we on your radar. Never miss, dog, and that's on occasion. Yeah, we on your radar. Yeah. Hey, look, top floor lifestyle, chef and boy, I'm cooking up. Way too high, ain't coming down. You see me if you looking up. I don't really talk too much, I show them run the numbers up. Lucky that I'm strolling up, I'm going off, they know what's up. Wrist too silly, yeah. Numbers crack the billy, yeah. Don't need no dilly, I'm too fresh, I feel like really, yeah. Feel the duffels up the sign, I need a million. I'm about to take off, and I know that I'm on their radar. Top 10